Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast. This is episode 3. So how's life been? It's been a while since we saw each other.
Yeah, I think it's been great ever since I moved out from my parents' house for the first time. But then I moved for school and I'm currently just trying to find that balance
Mhm.
between school, work, going to the gym, and all that stuff. And then I think it's just been overwhelming for the past few weeks. But what about you?
It's been pretty hectic, busy. I quit my
Ooh,
job.
yes, girl.
So,
You seem
yeah,
happy about that.
I feel so much happier if
Yeah.
I were to be honest because when I went back to work to return the school key and get my last paycheck, I was so happy to
You're
leave
like,
early. I
bye,
was
y'all.
like, bye, kids. Like, I feel sad though because they were like, where are you going? And I'm like,
Oh,
I'm going home. And they were like, just looking at me. And they're like, Miss Emily, where are you going? And I'm like, I'm going home.
oh,
So, like, I miss them so much, but it's like, I'm doing what I love. So,
oh.
at the same time,
It's
it's like it's
bittersweet.
yeah, it really
Yeah.
is. And everyone at work was joking around like, she's like, you're so selfish, blah blah blah. And I'm like, it's like I know they're joking around, but
Yeah.
like, sometimes like if I'm being for real, like, yeah, like I'm being selfish because it is something I want to do and I don't feel
Hmm.
bad about it. But I'm really happy. I'm so much happier because I can work on my own schedule. I can do this with you like on a weekday,
Yeah.
because we always have to like push it to like the weekends where I'm free.
Yeah.
But
And we want the weekends to be our own me time.
yeah, like we
Yeah.
want like a break, like
Yeah.
but yeah, that's been going around pretty busy, but I'm happy that I'm busy
Yeah.
doing what I love. So
Yeah. I'm so happy for you.
thank you.
So we wanted to do this mental health slash self-care topic today
Mm-hmm.
because May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It's a month where we can come together and comfort each other and support one another. And so we believe that mental health is a very, very important aspect of our lifestyles,
Mm-hmm.
because it can change the way that we perceive things or our experiences. And so we wanted to provide a safe space as well. That's part of our mission here for our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And so, did you want to start off with the first question?
Yeah, so one of our questions that we have down here is, what is a mental health cleanse and why is it important for us to know about it?
So, a mental health cleanse, if you haven't heard about it, it's kind of like a detox. So, let me give an example. It's kind of like spring cleaning, but for your
Mm-hmm.
mind, just trying to find activities or, for example, like going to therapy, finding a social support group. Those are some forms of activities you can do to improve your mental health. Well, I know mental health cleanse has many different definitions out there, but for me personally, I think a mental health cleanse is where you can unplug yourself from what's distracting you from the real world, for example, like electronics or anything that can make you feel like you're stuck or in a rut. And a mental health cleanse can help you better yourself mentally and emotionally. And why is it important for us to know about it? It's important for us to learn how to take care of ourselves, not just physically, like going to the gym and stuff, but I mean, that can also play a role into your mental health, but just doing things on the daily, like going to work, having busy schedules can be mentally draining. And so it's very important to check in on yourself, check in with a friend, with someone you care about, or even with like a health provider or a doctor. That's very important. And so we just wanted to talk about mental health today. For the next question, we have, What self-care hobbies or activities do you do for your mental health?
I feel like I don't really know myself,
Mm,
like what I do for like my mental health. I feel like I go shopping a
or
lot.
yeah,
Like
like shopping therapy.
yeah, like doing something that'll distract
Mm,
myself from like thinking about, you know.
what self-care hobbies would you like to include in your
Mm,
lifestyle?
I want to try journaling. I've tried it before, but I feel like I wasn't like really into it.
Mm,
I feel like it was just like a phase because everyone was doing it like for themselves. I don't know. I didn't really took it as like to do it for myself. I took it as like a trend, you know.
mm-hmm.
Um so I definitely do want to try journaling. But what
Okay.
about you?
For me, try to go on nature walks, unplug from social media and my phone and
Mm,
everything. I like to listen to music a lot too, just to help me feel better when I'm feeling down, or maybe talk to someone like my sister, my siblings, and I also talk to my boyfriend. I think it's not like a self care activity, but it's more of just like I use my social support system a lot. So for hobbies, I would usually just go to the gym or go exploring around my neighborhood
mhm,
because there's like parks everywhere. So I think just unplugging and going out is a good thing for me to do. But honestly, self care activities don't really have to cost too much. I know,
mhm.
yeah, I know people, they like to go like, I don't know, like do activities like rock climbing or something,
Yeah.
or like amusement parks or just things like that. But I mean, those are just examples. It's
Mhm.
just, I think you don't have to spend too much money just to bring yourself enjoyment. So that's just something I wanted to share.
Like you mentioned before that like you like to go out and unplug, you
Mm-hmm.
know, like go out and see nature. I feel like for me, like I want to try to do that myself, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared and I have like social anxieties and
Um,
like it would take me forever to get out of the car to go inside a cafe to do some work.
mm,
Like it's hard for me to do that, but like when I go with someone like Reina, like I feel a lot more comfortable and I actually get a lot of work done with her
mm,
because we're both so focused. And so, you know, like if you can't go alone, like go with a friend.
yeah,
That really helps
yeah, take
because,
baby steps.
yeah. What tips would you give to someone who doesn't know where to start, like managing their mental health cleanse?
What tips would I give to someone? I had social anxiety as a kid. I was really shy and introverted, and I guess people think it's like a stereotype where Asian girls are more kept to themselves or something.
Yeah.
Um, but I grew up like being bullied and not having a role model, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or someone to help me, guide me through like my education.
Yeah.
And so I grew up with social anxiety, and I never really knew how to address that to my parents because um, they were just like, "Oh, why are you worried?" You know, they're really good parents. It's just hard for us to communicate to our parents, especially because we're first gen Asian
Yeah.
Americans, and
Mm-hmm.
our parents are like, "Why are you worried? Like, you should, you're just a kid. Just go to school and come back home."
Yeah, like
Yeah.
why do you have so much stress?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. If you're around that age, like 10, 15, around there, you start meeting new people and experiencing a lot
mm-hmm.
of encounters with your mental health. A tip I would give is to reach out to someone. It doesn't have to be like a therapist. I know it's costly, like a support group that you have. And if it's difficult for you to reach out to someone at the moment, I would suggest doing something that you love. If you like to draw, if you like to go out and do some photography, just doing something that keeps you focused on what you love and bringing peace to yourself. I think it's important to focus your energy on something that will take you places to where you want to go. And so, yeah, those are my tips for someone that wants to start or is thinking about doing a mental health cleanse at this moment. What about you?
I don't know, like, because I started dealing with mental health later on because in high school I didn't know what that is.
Mm.
I didn't know, like, the feeling of it because I would hear from, like, my other friends that dealt with it, and I'm like, I don't know that feeling.
Oh,
Like, I didn't know the feeling of having depression or anxiety. Like, I was clueless. Like, I didn't know
mm,
because obviously, as a first gen and being the first to do literally everything like on your own, like
yeah,
I
it's
don't
scary.
it is, and I didn't have anyone to turn to because I just didn't know how it feels like. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like really unsure until I reached college. I don't really know the exact tips I would give to someone. I'm still like
Mm-hmm.
figuring out how to deal with like my mental health. But
Mm-hmm.
I think one thing I do know is definitely don't bottle it all up.
Yeah.
Definitely talk it out with someone. I know in college, if you're in college, there are free resources for you
Mm-hmm.
at the health center. And there's also free therapy.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I remember I suggested to my friend who was
Mm-hmm.
going through something, and I suggested that, hey, on campus there's free therapy that you can go to. Yeah, definitely talking it out with someone. Like, don't keep it all to yourself. Like, I know it's hard to like tell a stranger what's going on, but after your session, it kind of feels
It feels a little
you,
bit better.
yeah, you feel a little bit more lighter.
Yeah, like
So,
getting everything out of your chest.
yeah, like I definitely talk a lot about, my mental health with my husband a lot. And he definitely gives me tips. He's someone that also deals with it, and it's nice to have like a significant other to like
Mm-hmm.
talk to you about because they're like literally the closest person you have, and like you feel really comfortable around them.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels nice to just talk about it to him. I don't feel scared to
Yeah.
like open up to him. So
Yeah. Well, that's good that you have someone to confide in.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because I know sometimes people don't have that,
Yeah.
and it's hard, but definitely look into like resources if you're in college or if you're in high
Mm-hmm.
school. Like, there's definitely resources out there for you.
Yes, especially in college, you pay for it in your tuition already.
Yes,
So please.
use it. So many free resources that you're paying your tuition already. So
Mm-hmm.
might as well use it. I wish I did, but
Me
I
too. I wish
didn't.
I did,
I
but
didn't know until later on. Obviously, it's the first gen. No one tells you what's
yeah,
really
right?
available. You
Right.
kind of just go through your first or second year of college, and then you find out. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I should have
And
been
it's
doing
not the
that.
school's fault. It's more of just like they advertise so many different things
Yeah.
and you just can't keep
You
up
keep up.
with
Yeah, yeah. There's just
everything.
so many things. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but definitely look into that.
Yeah. So, along with what Emily said, I think just taking baby steps towards focusing on where you want to go towards, just take it day by day. And, we're here for y'all. If you guys have any questions or comments, or if you guys want any advice, like we do have a form in the description box.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and you don't have to give us your full name or where you're
No.
from. Just you can just leave that part blank. Yeah, we're open to reaching out or just answering any questions in at next episodes.
Mm-hmm.
The next question is, how did you start taking your mental health seriously?
I kind of mentioned this already before.
Yeah.
I didn't take it seriously until I reached college because I didn't
Mm,
know how it really felt like in
mm-hmm,
high school. And then I feel like I wasn't really surrounded by many friends because I didn't have much friends.
mm,
So I didn't really hear much about like having mental health as a thing. And they start to open up to me more about it. And then I'm like, oh, so this is how it feels. And then I start to experience it myself, and I'm like, oh, this feels
Feels weird.
weird.
Right.
Like, because I'm not used to this feeling. Because like, I think like up from like elementary till high school, I feel like I was just an average kid. I was happy. I think once I reached adulthood and I have to do mostly everything on my own,
Mm.
that was where it started hitting me. So that's kind of where I started taking it a little seriously. Like, oh, I have this, and
Mm-hmm.
it's normal because a lot of people have it. So I tell myself it's fine.
Mm.
You're okay. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I give myself like daily positive affirmations.
Mm. That's really good.
If I can. But sometimes I mostly just distract myself. And I feel like now I think I'm in an okay phase because I
Mm-hmm.
don't think about it much. I
Mm-hmm.
just try to be happy in life because we live in a short life
Mm-hmm.
and time goes by really fast. So I try not to think about the bad things, because there's always a solution for everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a solution to everything. So there's no need to worry about it. And every day I try to be happy as much as I can, and make the
Mm-hmm.
best of it.
Mm.
So, yeah.
That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for me, I started also the same, taking my mental health seriously in college. I would say only some parts of my mental health. So I would just reduce my stress levels, especially like with schoolwork and stuff. And then my personal life, I think it was just, everyone has something that they're going through. And things are always going to happen, but I believe that everything happens for a reason. I think I started taking it even more seriously after college because I took a gap year after I graduated, and my plan was to like start job searching, which is pretty stressful after college, and having
It
like
is.
tiger parents on your back just
Mm-hmm.
watching you do your applications and everything. And I just got really stressed finding like housing, applying for jobs. Those interactions have caused my mental health to change my physical health too. I got really skinny. And so mental health and physical health, they can affect each other. I'm not just saying whatever to y'all, I'm saying like what I've learned and what I've read in like books. Your mental health and your physical health are also intertwined and they affect each other. During that grad year, I got really stressed, and it was around August 2021. I got diagnosed for depression and psychosis. And so I was like seeing and hearing things that weren't even there. And so all that stress and anxiety that I experienced, it changed like my brain, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
mostly, yeah.
So I feel like I can talk about it now because that happened 2 years ago, and I even changed my name. And in the Hmong culture or the Hmong community, usually when someone gets sick, we try to help them feel better, change their name or change the name that we call the person. My name was originally Rose, but I wanted to be called Reina. And so after that, like my health just got back to normal. After that incident, it did take a while, like about 6 months. And I didn't contact you at all because I got my phone
Yeah.
taken away. And yeah,
Really?
I didn't use, I went on like, and I went MIA. Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, I remember some friends, they were like trying to reach out to me,
Yeah.
and I didn't text them back because I was experiencing a lot of things during that time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, were you gonna say something?
Well, like I was just gonna say that I remember that we just didn't contact each other for a long time. And
Right.
then I was like searching up like for your sister's contact info. I was like trying to reach out to her, but then I didn't know how to like ask or like say like, where is she? Why is she not reading my messages? Like, but yeah, that was it.
I was admitted into a mental health facility for quite a few months, and so that's why I went MIA for a while.
Were they the one that took away your phone?
I think they had to, but then I know my family won't let me touch my phone or anything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to use electronics. I would watch TV here and there, but then, I wasn't myself. Like, I would look in the mirror and I get scared because I had like facial distortion or something called like that. So like when I look in the mirror and I see my face, it doesn't look like my face. And when I see my dad, I could tell. I was like, okay, his voice sounds like my dad, but his face looks different. So I had that and some sorts of like seeing shadows and stuff, which is scary. So
Wow,
yes,
that's so
yes. So please take your mental health as a priority. The next question is, social support makes a big impact on your emotional and mental health. In what ways do you include that into your life?
I think like emotionally, I feel like it makes me a little happy because being able to talk to someone, about like being comfortable and being able to talk about it and feeling like you're in a safe space makes me feel comfortable and happy that someone's listening. I don't really talk about it with my parents because I feel like my parents, I love them. Like they're really great. They're good parents, but sometimes like your own like mental health issues, they don't understand, and then you feel like you don't feel supported, you feel uncomfortable, and then like you just don't feel happy. So having like a good social support around you, it makes a huge difference. So like friends or even just going to therapy, like a stranger, that's willing to listen,
Yes,
makes a huge difference than talking to someone that will just bring yourself down. So
yeah, I know there's like a stigma around going to therapy, but yeah, therapy is pretty cool.
I need to go.
Yeah. I need to go too. I think therapy can be for everyone, and just finding the right therapist that fits your needs. So that's my tip for finding a therapist. It's just like, y'all know, dating apps, finding someone that has similar interests.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same for a therapist, finding someone that specializes in what your mental health concerns are and what resources they can bring for you, because you definitely want to have someone who can be there for you and listen. And you should not have a therapist that talks more than you. Yes.
No.
Yeah, you should be doing all the talking. I remember when I went to therapy, she the lady that I got, I think she was new. And so I didn't really mind, but each therapist works differently, and that's just something you have to keep in mind. And so that brings us to the end of this podcast. We hope you like the start of our mental health series. And we do hope that wherever you are in life, we are here to support you and use your support systems around in your circles, your families, your friends.
And another reminder, we also do have a form where you can type in any questions or concerns that you have, and you can do it anonymously, and maybe it'll be featured in our next podcast and we'll discuss about it. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Bloom Diaries Official, and we are also on Facebook and YouTube, the Bloom Diaries, and also on Spotify. Make sure to subscribe and follow us on all our socials. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys in our next episode.
Bye, guys.
Bye.